Hey everyone, and welcome. So, you've gone through the trouble, you've figured out how to get that one critical piece of equipment connected to your network. Great! But what happens when it's not just one device? What happens when you're looking at an entire rack full of them? Well, that's the challenge we're tackling today.
Right? This is the core question. Connecting that single device feels like a huge win, but how do you actually scale that solution? All of a sudden, you've got 8 or 16, maybe even 32 different serial devices that all need to be online and accessible. The complexity just explodes.
And yeah, you can really see the difference here. Managing one device, it's pretty simple, a straight line. But managing many, well, it quickly turns into this tangled mess of cables and manual processes. You go from a manageable task to just a logistical nightmare. It becomes super inefficient and fast.
So, here's our game plan for this explainer. First, we're going to dig into that scaling problem. Then, we'll meet our mission control solution. After that, we'll look at how its unified interface works, see how it's built to grow with your needs, and finally, we'll talk about the real-world payoff.
All right, let's jump in. Section 1, from one to many.
It is so important to get this. Scaling isn't just about doing the same thing over and over. It's a totally different kind of problem, and it demands a totally different kind of approach.
I mean, think about it. When you've got a rack packed with routers and switches and servers, physically plugging a laptop into each one every time you need to configure something, it's not just slow, it's a massive operational bottleneck. It stops you from reacting quickly and, it opens the door for all sorts of human error.
So, how do we fix this bottleneck? Well, that brings us to the solution. Let's meet the mission control for your hardware, the Sollae Systems SCG Series of console servers. So what exactly is a console server? Well, at its core, it's a dedicated piece of hardware that acts like a central hub. It takes all those individual serial console ports from your different machines, brings them all together, and then makes them accessible over a single secure network connection.
And honestly, mission control is the absolute perfect way to think about it. You get one command center, one place where you can see, monitor, and manage every single thing without having to physically run around a data center. It's about getting total visibility and control from a single point.
Okay, next up, the unified interface. Let's take a look at how this whole mission control idea actually works in the real world and simplifies your entire setup. And it really is this clean. Step 1, you plug all your serial devices, your routers, your switches, into the console server. Step 2, you connect that one console server to your network. And that's it. From that point on, you can manage every single one of those devices from any remote computer on your network.
Now, let's talk about Section 4, Built to Grow. Look, a key part of any good solution is that it's not one size fits all. You need something that fits your environment perfectly, not just for today, but for where you're headed tomorrow.
And the SCG series from Sollae Systems is designed for exactly that. Whether you've just got a handful of devices and the 8-port model is perfect, or you're managing a much bigger setup that needs the 16 or even the 32-port version, there's a console server that's built for the scale of your operation. Which brings us to our final, and I'd argue most important section, the real-world payoff. We've seen what it is, we've seen how it works, but now let's talk about why this actually matters to you and your day-to-day. So what does all this really get you? It means true remote management, which saves an incredible amount of time and money. No more 3 a.m. drives to the data center for a simple reboot. It means centralized control, so you can stop physically running from machine to machine. You also seriously beef up your security with centralized authentication and logging for everything. And, maybe the biggest one, you can dramatically cut your response time, fixing issues almost immediately and minimizing that costly downtime.
When you put it all together, this quote just nails it. This isn't just some tech gadget. It's a complete, elegant solution that solves a very common, very important problem. It just works, and it saves you time, money, and a whole lot of headaches in the process.
This kind of tech really opens up a world of possibilities for what you can monitor and control remotely. So the last question here is for you. Think about your world. What's that collection of devices that's just waiting to be brought under a single unified command? What will you connect next?